Amy Eberhard, and I'm 21 years old. I'm from a few different places, but I guess I spent my high school years in South Charlotte and am moving to the Asheville area. Probably about 15 years my interest in hunting started, but I'm not gonna lie, I was faking it because my brother would get picked up from after school by my dad, but I had to stay behind in after school because he wanted my brother to get interested in hunting. So I faked it and said I really wanted to go hunting so that I could also skip out on after school and spend time with dad. Then my interest peaked a little bit more too when I got into middle school and I got to get really dressed up for the youth archery tournaments. I would go out there in bright sweaters and pearl earrings to go try to win the youth archery tournaments, and I'd usually be the only girl there and really liked rubbing it in people's faces. And same thing, the interest in hunting was kind of intertwined with the interest in spending time with my dad and his best friend. And then I left the 6th grade dance early, told my first dance date I have to go because I need to go to the airport to fly into my first archery deer hunt in Ohio. I was really proud about telling the boys, I have to go, I've got to go get on a flight to go hunt in Ohio. And we didn't get anything that year, but I was begging Dad to anything. The turkeys would walk out, it's December, and I'm like, Dad, please. Oh, almost every time that we go in Ohio, it's my dad and his best friend, Wally. People might call him Brian Wenzel, but if you're really cool, you call him Wally. About 9 years, only hunted with my bow and arrow, and that was something that I took a lot of pride in also, was learning how to be a really patient hunter from a young age and experiencing the excitement in the woods for more than just kind of how big of a kick your gun has or how far your scope can look or something like that. Really getting a feel for the sounds, the winds, the smells, all of the details, and getting the whole picture about hunting before moving into some of the really exciting, just outright fun parts of hunting. So right now I'm just under a month from sitting for my boards for nursing school, and that leaves me with a really dicey schedule. It's very last minute, abrupt. I don't really spend any time in a classroom. I just follow someone else's schedule, and I didn't know if I would be able to go turkey hunting or not for about a week prior to actually arriving. And so with that, we hadn't told Uncle Wally that I would be there. We didn't have a license for me. We didn't have tags for me. It was all thrown together really at the last second, and there was a lot of excitement that came with that, but also a little bit of anxiety about I didn't really know what the land looked like. I really needed to make sure I could get my hands on a license, which ended up being a whole different story for another time. But I was also really excited to surprise Uncle Wally because he did not know that I would be there. And we thought that if I did get to do a turkey hunt, it would probably be towards about a month after that in a different state. All right, so the night before the hunt, I had not seen the land, neither had Wally, so we went out and just set up. We were planning for rain the next day. It was not looking like it was going to be the best weather, definitely still doable. My dad had heard some turkeys, so he knew where to set everything up at, based off of what he felt like was going to be the turkey's next move. So the first morning when we come out to where we think we've set up our blind in preparation the day before, there's no blind, not a blind in sight. We knew it would be windy, but the wind was on a different level. We didn't see where it had blown to. Later on, we ended up finding it about 200 yards away, but nonetheless, my dad had to go run back to the truck to go get another blind, a backup, and pop it open really fast. Wally's moving the decoys back around. It's as if we never prepared the night before. So kind of the enthusiasm about the unknown turned into, okay, this is just a little bit frustrating and maybe disheartening. Then we get all set up, we get back inside. We were hoping, okay, it's looking really gray out, but it's not too bad. Maybe the rain will miss us. And we could not have been more wrong. It was thunder and lightning, downpour. Can't hear each other whispering in the blind right next to each other because the rain is so awful. We hadn't heard anything all day long. It was dicey all the way through like 11 a.m. We're going on 4 or 5 hours of sitting in the blind, and it's just ugly outside. And we're starting to think maybe this is a waste of our time. The weather clears up, it gets beautiful. I mean, it was like the most ultimate reward for sitting through that weather. It was bright blue skies, very few clouds in sight, and we decide, okay, now that it's beautiful out, we're also really hungry and cold, wet. So we decide we'll get on the move a little bit. We haven't heard anything, so there's not really much to lose. We're still calling just in case, but not getting anything back. And we decide that we'll just hunt our way back to the truck, try to go through some other parts of the property that we haven't seen as well. And we'll hold the Reaper, go real slow, see what we can do. And that ends up paying off really well. At first, we were just looking around if we saw a hen. First thing we had seen all day, so to us, this is magnificent. This is definitely a key part in the hunt because it gives us a lot of hope. And after that, we get the Reaper out. We hear a gobble. First gobble of the day. Sounds pretty far out. We think it's across a lake or a small pond, really. And we're trying to decide, okay, do we think it's going to come around based on the call and where we think he's going to come and try to find the hen or follow our calls. We think he's going to come from the east, so we move over that way. We're trying to keep up. Wally has the Reaper. I'm close behind him. We're moving quickly. We're trying to stay behind some trees because we're anticipating him coming in, but we have yet to see him or hear him again. So we're kind of hoping for the best, prepared for anything. And then we see him pretty far out, but we've still got a ways to go. But there are several huge trees now. So we've got a lot of cover. We're coming in at a downhill. He's coming downhill, and we're going to meet in this small valley. And so we're still using the Reaper. He does start to strut, but he's from pretty far away. He's coming in. There are several trees in between. And finally, I have an opening. And it's kind of like when they say your eyes are bigger than your stomach. It's kind of like my trigger finger was a little happier than how far away I thought he was. But I'm asking Wally, can I shoot? Can I shoot? He says, go for it. And so I shot. It was definitely a critical hit. The bird he gets down, and he's kind of flopping, barely hobbling. And of course I run over to him. I bring my gun, hauling it over to him, and then I'm kind of realizing once I'm running it, okay, that was kind of a far away shot. My phone falls out, get over to him. He's down. We're eye to eye, and finally kind of put him out of his misery, and we get it all done. And later we found out it was a 52-yard shot, so definitely could have had him come in a little bit more, but it was very exciting. He had a double snood. He was 25.7 pounds. Great for a South Carolina bird. He had 1 1/4 inch and 1 1/8 inch spurs. He had a 10.5 inch beard. Pretty happy with that.
That's the beard right there. one on the shelf below. Yeah.
You did it.
I heard it. I just
Sammy
didn't-
put the hurting on it.
I heard it. I just didn't see it.
She dropped him with the first shot, and he got up and started running.
He lay down in here.
Yeah, he got into here, and then
Well,
she tried to put this.
Went around and around together. Like he
Yeah.
took a shot over here because I ran through and I was chasing him. And took another shot at him. He's like, "Fuck this," and then went in there.
So was it the one that we like? I saw a bird. Go
Oh no, they were hens.
Those were hens up there, and then I know we heard a gobble, and you guys were out. Did you see
He was.
him?
Yeah. Oh, well, no,
We
we heard him,
heard
and I
him.
knew because of
Somewhere
the
in here.
terrain that he was over here, right? And I looked at the phone, and there's a patch of woods down there.
Right.
So we just stopped where we could see this hillside, and sure as shit, he came right down this road. Came walking
To
down,
your
looking
Yelps.
to the Yelps,
Uh-huh.
and then I held up the Reaper and just did this.
Yep.
And he stopped dead in his tracks and saw it. Came a little bit more and turned and started coming straight to us. But then he got onto us. He stopped, right, and he started to blow up a little bit. Sammy's like, "Can I shoot? Can I shoot?" Like, "Yep." And he
How far
dropped.
away- And how far away was that?
Nice beard.
Really nice beard.
I just saw now that there's a bunch of text. I was trying to like creep up slowly. I filmed the whole way. Like,
Wait, I was torn between like, oh, we've got a bird coming, he needs to come on, and oh, we've got a bird coming, he needs
I
to
was
chill
worried you
out.
were gonna come walking up over, sneaking over as he was coming up.
and that's why I held back quite a
Yeah.
bit.
We definitely gotta take pictures.
He's got a double snood.
Yeah, he does. He's got a double snood.
Send snoods.
He's got a split snood.
Yeah, he does. All right, Sammy. 2 years. You got a streak.
Yeah.
He ain't even at Triple O yet.
Yeah. So far, I still have 100% success.
That's right. Every time you've been turkey hunting.
Not every time I shoot, but every time I go turkey hunting.
He probably would have come a little closer, but he was at that
Take a knee right there, Sammy, behind him.
he was at that skittish.
Yeah,
Definitely
let
gonna
me
go up
fix
and
my
get
hair,
good pictures.
okay?
Just like at the fair, were you gonna guess it first?
That's fucking heavy. What do you think?
25.7.
That's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was.
Well,
That's a big bird.